History-making Madagascar beat the Super Eagles of Nigeria 2-0 to top their group, while top two teams from each group will sail through and the best fourth-place teams will complete the list into the round of 16 in the Africa Cup of Nations. Find out which teams have made it this far into the last 16. Host nation Brazil will take on rivals Argentina in the first semi-finals of this year's Copa America as Leonel Messi gets close to a first national trophy with Argentina. And then champions, the US, qualified for the 8th time to the semi-finals after defeating host France 2-1 to match up against England, while the Netherlands and Sweden square up in the other semi-final game. Fasten your seatbelts as Football Planet starts right now. We begin with the most rated football competition on the continent as the group stage matches draw to an end. Ranked among the least on FIFA standings, Madagascar created what could be the surprise of the tournament when they pushed down a 2-0 defeat on 2013 champions Nigeria in their last Group B encounter that was on Sunday night. The result leaves them as Group B leaders with 7 points after 2 wins and a draw game, and ahead of Nigeria, who finished with 6 points. In a chat with Nigerian sports journalists just after that shocking defeat, we feel a sense of disappointment from so many Nigerians. And now we're being joined by Akinlolu, who's a sports journalist reporting from Lagos, Nigeria. Nigeria yesterday settled for second spot after that shocking defeat from debutant Madagascar. What's your take on this?
Well, going into the Afcon 2019, Nigeria was no doubt a favorite, but unfortunately did not live up to that level where Nigerians have put high hopes, high expectations from the kind of result they will turn out. First match, they really struggled. Second match, the same thing happened. But I think in the last match, probably a high level of complacency set in because the way the first goal came in, the way they considered the first goal was really shocking. Leon Balogun couldn't, stand his feet and tried to guide the ball, and unfortunately he got in. The reaction from Nigeria has been really, really emotional. They've been really, really sad, and they've been causing their pain since last night. The expectation from the Super Eagles now is that they have their destiny in their hands, and they should come out stronger. The only fear is, no doubt, the coach, Leonel Messi, is very rigid. He's not flexible at all. He stands on what he believes will work for him, even when it's obvious things aren't working. So the destiny of the Super Eagles is in their hand. He's got to really, really come out when the knockout stage gets started.
Now, what is the challenge with the side? 3 matches, 3 different lineups. Should we be worried here for the Super Eagles?
No, as a professional, before the tournament started, I actually, made comments on radio and all that I doubt if the Super Eagles would go past the group stage, and if they make it out of the group stage, they may not make it out of the round of 16. And this is the reason why I said so. Since 2015, when Leonel came on board, his own target has been to raise a national team of a very young squad in his own team. But there's been this lack of consistency in the structure of his team. He brings in this particular player. He tries to stay with this particular player when the player is not even giving his best. So there's been a major point of lack of consistency since Leonel came on board.
All right, thanks, Alonge. It's always a pleasure having you on Football Planet.
Thank you very much.
All right, the Black Stars of Ghana went into the competition with a series of hiccups surrounding the captaincy. But thankfully, the issue was settled and Andre Ayew led the side that grappled 2 points out of a possible 6 in 2 Group F encounters. We are also being joined by a Ghanaian sports journalist on phone. Welcome, Zakaria Ali. Let me put your back on the wall. Taking a look at the Black Stars this far, 2 draw games, I guess it is not very satisfactory. But having watched Asamoah Gyan and Kwadwo Asamoah coming in from the bench, is it a wise decision for Kwesi to rely on youthfulness?
I mean, before the tournament, when the coach had chances to speak to some of us before they even go to the United States of Emirates, the coach made a statement that he's building a team for the future. So clearly, he was actually going for you to over experience, over the big names that we know that are old. So I wasn't surprised that he decided to bench Asamoah. Benching Asamoah is no news to many of us because Asamoah is nearing his trying age. I mean, Asamoah we knew from the 2010, from even the 2014, is not Asamoah that we are currently seeing. Ghanaians in general are not happy with the performance of the Black Stars because our first game against Guinea, that was a game that many of us thought should be an easy game for us to claim the 3 points. The one we played against Cameroon, manage the draw, and they come out against Guinea-Bissau, win, and then you are through to the round of 16. But we couldn't concentrate in the early minutes of the game, so we conceded early, and then we were forced to make a substitution because Thomas in Japan got an injury, so the coach was pushed to make a change in the early minutes of the game. And then we came into the second minute to equalize, and then we took the lead, and then our own man decided to make that silly mistake that got us a red card. So the thing was just turned upside down. So the coach was forced to make some substitution that many actually believe didn't go in favor of the team. That actually gave us a draw. But against Cameroon, the game was more better. The team that we were hoping to see, we saw it. The more they have improved actually from the game against Benin. But we couldn't take our chance. From the 85th minute going to the 90th minute of the game, we had many chances that some of us thought we had it. Thomas Partey had a chance that we thought was easy for him to score. He couldn't score. Then newcomer of now also had a chance, but the guy didn't score. You had the likes of Jordan Ayew, who was actually waiting for the ball. He should have passed the ball to Jordan, but the guy decided otherwise. He didn't pass the ball. He missed chance.
Well, thanks, Ali. Unfortunately, I could feel your frustration there. It's always a pleasure having you on Football Planet.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now over in Egypt, our correspondent had time to get the views of some African journalists covering the competition. Here's what they had to say.
First of all, I would like to say that Egypt is always a great host of African football, and for the Afcon to be here, it's really pleasing. And also, I cannot count up to 10 countries in Africa that could have hosted a 24-team Afcon, and also for it to be in June and not January. You can see, I've talked to so many of the European stars, especially who play in Europe, who think that, now they can concentrate, on the Afcon. I've spoken to Kalidou Koulibaly, who plays for Senegal, Yannick Bolasie. All of them say that now they have time to prepare with the national team and to be relaxed, no pressure to go back to the club or to think about their future or anything or injuries. Now they can concentrate. But for sure, it's very hot here in Egypt because of the sun. It's the summer here. It's about 38 degrees, and you can see somehow that the players are struggling. But CAF has allowed the players to take water breaks in the 30 minutes and the 75th minute, but also to play at night. The 4:30 p.m. fixtures have been a little bit difficult, but those countries that are serious, for example, Uganda, were doing a camp in Abu Dhabi where it's almost 42 degrees. So they're used to this kind of weather and the humidity, and so for me, I think that it's not a very big problem.
At first, we were very skeptical of a 24-nation African Cup. We thought it would be a little too much for the biennial competition. Looking at how things have progressed so far, it feels like it's working. But the key question remains, how many African countries can organize a 24-team competition? Perhaps Egypt has the capacity. There are others who cannot host such a competition. This requires large resources that many African countries do not have yet.
As we wrap on our Afcon segment today on Football Planet, we would like to leave you with the following tables. Host nation Brazil scored 8 goals in the competition this far to set up a semi-final clash with Argentina. That will be on Wednesday in the Copa America semi-finals 2019. captain Leonel Messi and Argentina scored 3 goals less in a more difficult phase that saw them losing 2-0 to Colombia on match day 1. As Messi seeks his first senior trophy with his side, the task could be easier, but they will have to go through Brazil, who only beat Paraguay 4-3 on penalties in the quarterfinals. And here's what you would expect from the semi-finals of the Copa America. Defending champions, the U.S. broke the hearts of thousands of French supporters at the Parc des Princes when the hosts crashed out of the Women's World Cup in Paris that was over the weekend on Saturday in the quarterfinal match. Megan Rapinoe scored a brace to send the U.S. into their 8th semi-finals in the history of the competition, while France got a late consolation through Wendy Renard. Another hype of the day was orchestrated by Sweden, who came from behind to beat Germany 2-1 to match up a semi-final with the Netherlands. Here's a complete result of the quarter-final games as well as the upcoming semi-final pairings in the FIFA Women's World Cup competition. Get more sports news and updates on Africanews and Africanews.com in French and English, as well as on our social media outlets. From myself and the team, it is bye-bye for now.